We're still talking sports right here on Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. Just to let you know that yes, you can be part of the show, and we'll just read some tweets that we're getting on Twitter. Prince Jaru says, "I'm wishing the national under-17 team the best of luck in their quest to retain the FIFA Under-17 World Cup starting this Saturday." I like the hashtag you used to end it, Prince. He says, "Achieve more." So that's what it is, guys. Before we talk about the Euro qualifiers and all of the drama that I've seen today, let's talk about the 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Yesterday, we saw some results. Particularly one was shocking to you, but again, another testament that African football is getting competitive.
Yeah, well, African football has always been, I don't know by a lot of people, but African football for me has always been particularly fascinating from every part of the continent. If you watch Sekafa games, if you watch Kosafa games, if you watch African Nations Cup qualifiers, every game in Africa always has something interesting. You see unknown players, you see fantastic playing styles, you see some particularly crazy hairstyles as well. But the thing about African football is that it gives so much to the eye and to the senses in terms of everything that you see. And from the qualifiers that we've seen, everything has fallen true to type. Maybe Gambia, in my opinion, fell short in the qualification series, but every other team, I think they scaled through as they should have. And these are the first round fixtures for the 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Chad will take on Egypt. Already, interestingly, both of them are already in Group G of the
of the 2017
Got already hammered 5-1.
So they know each other quite well. Chad knows what to expect from the Egyptians. Libya will take on Rwanda. Togo will tackle the Cranes of Uganda. That will be a particularly interesting one. I think both of them are evenly matched. Benin Republic will take on Burkina Faso. As it stands now, I think Benin Republic would need a miracle to survive the Burkinabes. Mozambique will take on Gabon. Sudan will play Zambia. And another very interesting tie. Sudan on their day can be very difficult to play. And if Zambia blink, they might lose that game. Equatorial Guinea will also take on Morocco. Another interesting tie. Angola will face South Africa in a battle of two Southern African brothers. Also, you have Madagascar playing Senegal. Senegal should have no trouble decisioning the Indian Ocean Islanders. Ethiopia will face Congo. Guinea will tackle Namibia. Niger will play Cameroon. The Cameroonians should feel very comfortable with that particular fixture. Ghana will take on Lesotho. Lesotho always seem to have the bad luck of drawing Ghana. And I think the last time they played, they ended, was it 6-0? I think it was a cricket scoreline in Kumasi. The Democratic Republic of Congo will face Burundi. Kenya will tackle Cape Verde. In my opinion, I think Kenya should forget about that because Cape Verde are one of the most dangerous teams in the African continent today. Algeria will have their hands full against a particularly feisty Tanzanian team that we know so well. But I still think Algeria have more than enough in the tank. Even a half-tank Algerian team should see off Tanzania, but they would overlook them at their peril.
But with the Taifa Stars playing good football that we saw against the Super Eagles, it's going to be difficult to just
I think of particular interest to us is the game between
Swaziland
and Swaziland. It was postponed, even though the team from Swaziland got a 6-0 first leg advantage. So perhaps it's most likely that we're going to miss Swaziland.
I think it's definite now. So I think we should start thinking of how we're going to play the Swazis. So the NFA, if they're listening, they should start dispatching scouts to the Kosafa region.
Don't say because it's Swaziland, we go to sleep.
Oh,
and
no.
You come out with a poor result and you start looking for who to blame. Just get ready. Early preparations is all we need. From Africa, we go to South America to take a look at some of the results from the 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, South American zone results. But before that comes on your screen, I'll just read this message on Twitter. Babatunde Ishola Ojo is saying, Sunday Olise promised to develop homegrown talents when he was unveiled. He needs to do the needful so that Nigeria will be at the CHAN 2017. That's what the guys in the studio want, and we hope that comes past.
We have to be at the CHAN. The CHAN is not a lesser competition. It is a very important competition in terms of our football development. For too long, players who play in the Nigerian domestic league have been marginalized. It was until the coming of, I remember there was that, and we can also bear me witness as well, there was a time when people would recommend players in the domestic league to handlers of the national team, to to football administrators. They would thumb their nose and say, what player? Where does he play? And you know, all this has been rubbished by the performances of the home-based players in the last few years, and the quality that we see currently on display in the Nigerian Premier League week in, week out. So the CHAN is an important tournament. It should not be treated as a second-rate tournament.
So that's what it is. Nick Joseph Ejike says, are we saying that Coach Salisu Yusuf is now the only exclusive local-based Eagles coach? Well, that shall never end. That's not what we're saying. But we're saying that he has the quality to lead the CHAN Eagles team. So, if the results are ready, South America, okay, let's see it right there on your screen. South America zone results for the 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Uruguay defeated Colombia by 3-0.
Surprising result. It was very heavy for the Colombians when you consider their quality. Jackson Martinez, James Rodriguez, Juan Quintero. It was a very shocking, very heavy defeat by Uruguay. Paraguay against Argentina. Argentina continued to struggle with the absence of Lionel Messi, Tevez, Pastore. All of them could not find a way around a particularly difficult Paraguay. Paraguay was very difficult to play against. Brazil and Argentina now winless in their first 2 games in the qualifying series. Well, it's a marathon, and I expect Argentina to bounce back at some point in the qualifiers and qualify automatically. Brazil, William,
was a rush.
Getting 2 goals in their win against Venezuela. Yeah, and Chile, interesting game.
Look at that.
Interesting
they keep getting
game.
better as a team.
Peru.
You go to Lima to get 4 goals.
Alexis Sanchez and Eduardo Vargas both scoring 2 goals each, getting a very decent result. They are now top of the pile with 6 points, maximum points for their first 2 games. Ecuador defeating Bolivia in a battle of in a match known as the highest match in the world. both of them play at altitude, so there's no surprise in that game actually.
Okay, so that's it. Updates from the 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifier South America zone result right here on Channel Sports. We just talk nothing but sports. Let's leave South America now to Europe. That's a travel tonight. 2016 Euros, no Netherlands. Shocking, but that's what it is.
Yeah, Austin, you see, I think every team has a lifespan, and you need to recreate the team, bring in new players. What has happened to the Dutch team is that a lot of players have reached their peak, and they have to. And I think in the next couple of days, if the coach Blind is able to keep his job, then he should be the luckiest man in the world.
He says he wants to continue, so he can correct the mistakes.
Why will you continue when you have a team that is highly rated and they can't get to the Euro tournament? This is not the World Cup. This is the Euro tournament.
I think they only won 1 match.
They only won 1 match. Van Persie even came on this game and scored their own goal.
First in 7 games, 7 out of their 10 games. It's a shocking statistic for a team that was just last year scored in the
FIFA World Cup. So I think,
and like you said, Van Persie scoring a goal, but in the wrong goal.
A lot of things are wrong then.
So no, there's plenty wrong. Like Onye said, I think the team has stagnated. It has reached its peak. It's now in a state of decline. But that doesn't change the fact that there are plenty of
quality players
coming through the ranks. The particularly frustrating and inconsistent Memphis Depay, Richeli Bazoa, Davy Klaassen. There are a lot of young players coming through the ranks, both at PSV, PSV, Ajax, and in the Dutch league in general. So they will come good at some point, and it might take time for this team to coalesce properly, to be a proper fighting unit. But as it is now, I think it's the end of a cycle. They now have to refresh. And they might need to go in a different direction than Danny Blind. I don't think he did well.
But he doesn't think that way. And I'm saying football now showing clearly that it goes beyond talent. It's how you manage those talents that matters.
Yeah, I agree with you totally, Austin. You know, I think during one of their games, Depay and Van Persie had a bust-up. And you see, when you have that kind of issues, in the team, it brings a lot of distraction. You know, it also reflected on our game against Congo DR, the Coach Olise and Vincent Yama issue. You know, some players will be sympathetic to the coach, some to the player, and it's going to affect the performance on the pitch. So management is very, very key. You may have a lot of talented players. If they are not playing as a gang, as a unit,